And we are live.
Oh,
Oh, well, yeah. Welcome in to the Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD. I'm here with my boys.
Steve, real name, no gimmicks. What's good, y'all?
And we're here with our third musketeer.
Your boy Shaolin Iceboxer. What is popping, everybody?
What is up? It is always a special event whenever we have our man Shaolin Iceboxer here. He doesn't come to any old stream because he's just too, he is too jiggy like that, right?
Hey, Mash.
What you been up to, man?
It's like you said, I'm just keeping it jiggy, man. I'm not getting slapped and getting cucked out by my wife, though. I will say that.
Whoa!
Sorry,
okay, the war has already begun.
We already started. I'm sorry.
So Steve, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing exceptionally well, man. And I want to preface that by saying this, right? I know what y'all think. You see Brick Baby. We're not talking about Brick Baby from No Jumper, by the way. I want you to know we're talking about Brick Baby herself, Brick Lady, Brickgate. And I want you to know we're going to come in with a soft touch for this beautiful, beautiful queen. And we're going to make sure we actualize our shot. We ain't going to do any of that bullshit. We about to ride on it.
So if you guys have not read the cover or whatever's going on, that's right. We were talking about the infamous Brick Baby. Now, we've discussed her more than once on this show. Mm-hmm. Who wants to describe who Brick Baby is for our fans out there?
Allow me to do it.
Yeah, please.
Here we go.
Pretty please.
So once upon a time, a woman, a Somalian woman, watched what happened with the famous French actor, as Dave Chappelle put it, Juicy Smollett, and his betrayal of the black race, and said, I can do it better. And she, in her schemes and her plots, came up with one of the most divisive stories to ever hit Instagram and Twitter. A story where she alleged that a bunch of Somalian men, black men, stood around and watched as she was accosted outside of a club because she refused to give her phone number to some dusty fool. Now, allow me to set the stage, gentlemen.
Wait, can I poke the first hole in that story?
Yes.
So before I say what I'm going to say, I want you guys to feel the argument. I want you to look up what Brick Baby looks like, and tell me someone asked for her number. Yeah, that shit. Yeah, that was Matt Murdock because the motherfucker couldn't see if he was asking for her number. For starters, before a supposed brick hit her face, she was chipped as shit. Right? So okay. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
No. Here's the crazy thing, man. And listen, man, I'm just quoting another person. Doesn't represent the views of Fanboy Modeling School and by proxy any of our other endeavors. But a famous radio host said, I thought this was a transgender woman.
Yo, I feel like my point has just been made. Thank you very much.
And that's not a knock against anyone. But this woman, Rhoda, I believe is her first name, managed to become one of the most divisive talking points to hit TikTok, to hit Instagram, and hell, even for the old people over on Facebook, right? She had black men and women literally fighting in the comments. I know. You're washed with surprise. Black men and black women arguing about something, but this only lent to the fuel which has been set to the fire of the divisive things that are going on in our community on the internet. You had black women and men defending her. Major news outlets calling out this hatred of the black woman because black men did not stand up for her. Now, like Jussie Smollett, it turned out this was all bullshit. It turned out that, yes, your boy Steve called it the first night. I'm not saying you didn't, Mantis, but Mantis, you don't know the level. You do know, actually. Let me take that back. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, and I'll admit, you actually did convince me, because here's what it is. I did believe she was guilty, but I still wanted to be like, I wasn't like super sure. And so right. It was this episode where you laid down all the groundwork that truly convinced me that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Listen to me, and it wasn't even me, man. Shout out to the young lady, Miss Accountability or Accountability First.
Queen of Accountability.
Queen of Accountability, right? Who actually exposed this woman. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Obvious arguments to pick me, blah, blah, blah. All those lazy feminist bullshit arguments, man. She did something that a real black queen would do. She did not allow every black man to be thrown under the bus because of an accusation of one person. Now, let me do something really quickly, my brothers, and to take the heat off of us. Does this in any way, shape, or form disprove that there is violence committed against black women? No, that was never the claim. Right. The claim is that bitch is lying. That's right. That's the claim. The claim is that bitch is fucking lying about this shit. And here's the thing, man. I just recently committed to get back on my Christian walk and just, kind of keep everything, not so much vulgarity. But tonight I have to ask for the Lord's grace, not because I'm riding on a black woman, but because I'm riding on a race traitor. Just like Juicy Smoulier. You took a real issue and turned it into profit. And then you idiots, not these two educated brothers up here, jumped on the bandwagon, donated into the tune of $49,000 to an unsubstantiated claim, and then had the audacity to attack every black man, calling them a red pill shill if they said this is a lie. You all need to take a good look at yourselves. You suck. You're the type of motherfuckers that saw the boats coming to Africa and you were like, this might work out. You are the race traders. You are the race traders. You're the type of niggas that fucking said the Dutch might do right by us. You're the type of niggas that fucking allowed other blacks to be sold into slavery, and you always want to pass it off as someone else as an Uncle Tom. No, it's you niggas. It's you niggas that want to believe every piece of bullshit you see on the internet without fucking researching it. It's you bum ass niggas that want to talk all this crazy high powered black power shit, but you dumbass niggas didn't take a second to fucking think, is that what a person's face looks like after it gets hit by a brick? You niggas are the laughing stock of the internet, and tonight I ride on you bum niggas. Every last one of you.
Well, go ahead and end the show. That was
I guess we're done here.
We're done.
We're done.
All right, I got it out of my system. Now we can have a more legible talk. Sorry, go ahead.
We got Rebex in the chat. She says hashtag fangirls for fanboys.
What up,
Chelsea says, oh, look, Shaolin is here. Hello, Princess. We've also got Yabab7. Any of y'all want to be in an MMA edit? I don't even know what that is.
I have no idea, my man. Sorry.
Is it free?
Yeah, is it free?
At any rate, that was my opening speech. Again, I'm not discrediting it or saying that black women don't get attacked or there isn't violence against black women. But what do you brothers think?
I think you quite literally took every single piece of my rant and just spit it out before I was able to get to it. Yo, for real though, all I gotta say is this. At this point, if you are still on this chick's side, you got a lot of thinking to do. I'm gonna need you to just disconnect from society,
right?
Recenter yourself.
Wait, hold on. Right. Before you go into such extremity, I want to point out that not everyone knows what the new evidence is. Okay.
Oh,
and so we got to present it first because you can't. If somebody doesn't know, it's just sheer ignorance. Do we have a video? Also, my man Yabab7 says it's free promo, yo. Yeah, we'll be down.
Yeah, I got a video. Give me a second and I'll grab it for you. Give me 1 second. Pause.
But yo, honestly, I will say this. A lot of people nowadays are siding with certain people because of gender, because of race, because of politics, and I feel like there's less logic in who we side with nowadays. I'll give you an example. Certain politicians have been acting and wiling the F out, and I'm talking about on both sides. I bet as soon as your imagination goes, you can think of some of the people I'm talking about, and the craziest people will defend them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll give a call out. My girl, Lauren Boebert, right? The loose woman of Congress, my future ex-wife. Yo, after she acted like that, you know how many Christians were defending her? And that doesn't make any sense. And you know what it is?
Wait,
they were thinking with their politics.
Bring me up to speed. What are you talking about here?
Lauren Boebert, when she was in she was watching the Beetlejuice musical, and her and her man were grabbing each other.
Oh, right.
Because she ended up getting thrown out.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of Christians are defending her, and I was just like, look, we don't have to condemn her. It's not like she's going to hell, but don't act like it's totally normal and totally cool that went down. That is un-Christian-like behavior.
100%.
And what it is people are siding, and I'm not just saying just Christians, I'm saying people in general will side with whoever. The other day I was having an argument with somebody who was a very hardcore leftist, and I'll tell you this right now, they remember when Biden's son, Hunter Biden, dissed Congress?
Yes.
He was like, I don't need to answer these questions.
Yeah.
Someone who's a leftist, but supposedly has great humanity and is a great lover of people and is logical, was giving him high fives and was like, he's so awesome. Look what he did to those conservatives. Right. And I was like, for starters, Hunter Biden is a crackhead.
Okay.
So how dare you take his side? You're taking his side because of politics, not because of anything logical.
It's usually how it goes, man.
So there's just a bunch of that going around.
Yeah, it's real, baby.
You got to talk about a fighter sounding like a badass for 10 to 15 minutes.
All right, I'll give you what you're looking for.
Who are we talking about?
In spite of popular opinion, Sean Strickland won the main event at 297. Sean Strickland, no matter what your politics are, because that's irrelevant to what happens once you step into the octagon, not only was the superior striker, but had the superior defense. And in fact, I'm calling out John Anik for his over-representation of strikes that Duplessis was throwing that did not land on him. I never thought that I would see what I saw that night outside of a Mayweather fight. So for the uninitiated, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the undisputed best defensive boxer to ever live.
Agreed completely.
If you don't understand the genius that he has, then you don't understand fighting. Floyd's Philly shell, or the Floyd shell as it should be called, has managed to stop significant damage coming his way. That's not to say he hasn't been touched. The Maidana fight, he definitely got touched. But just like Floyd, Sean Strickland suffered a loss, in my opinion, to people not understanding that most of those wild looping punches that Duplessis threw did not land. So there's your hot take. Sean Strickland should still be the middleweight champion of the UFC.
Well, there you go, man. Clip it. That was 15 seconds of gold right there.
All right.
Yeah, Lewis Castle. I saw his fight, and that man has a future in the MMA. Straight the fuck up. You can feel free to beep that out if you need to. But I don't think that's an unpopular opinion about Sean winning. I think that I actually think a lot of people have said that he should have won, that the decision was complete poppycock, if you will. And we're going to go to Sean Strickland later on in the talk, but I think our main topic today is Brick Baby, and we're going to get to it. Yeah, sure thing, brother. Feel free to follow. We'll follow you back, man. And thank you for stopping in to the Fanboy Modeling School.
Here's the thing, man. I agree with you 100%. Tribalism, partisanship, all those things play into it. But at a certain point, we just got to be responsible, right? We got to be responsible in what's going on here, man. And just right now, if you go to the Shade Room and you look for the article with this topic and regarding Brick Lady, there is still women and men saying that, no, this woman was assaulted. Okay, she was assaulted. Let's break down. Actually, you have people like, you didn't read the article, did you? I'm like, clearly, you didn't read the article, because the article completely refutes her claim. Her claim was that she was accosted because she did not give her phone number to a man. He threw a brick at her for no other reason than that. And it turns out that she was the aggressor. She hit this man. He hit her with a water bottle. It turns out that she has made claims like this in the past. In fact, why am I saying it? Why don't we just let the clip speak for it? I said
absolutely.
Let
us do it.
I wonder if it was like a plastic water bottle or one of them big ass like tumblers, one of them like aluminum tumblers. Like, what kind of bottle did he hit her with? I'm insanely curious.
He pulled out one of the tumblers. He's like, hold on. I was going to use a plastic bottle, but considering that I think you're a man.
So let's see what's going on here.
Claimed a man threw a brick at her head because she would not give him her phone number, is now wanted by Houston police. This story got national attention after that woman live streamed what she claimed was the aftermath on Instagram and started a GoFundMe. Only KPRC2's Bryce Newberry is talking with the prosecutor on this case tonight. He joins us live near the Galleria with the latest. Bryce.
Daniela, Houston police got called to this street in September, and when they arrived, the woman seen in that viral video told them that an Uber driver threw a brick at her head and then tried to kidnap her. But tonight, she has become the focus of this criminal investigation because Houston police say the surveillance footage captured by cameras on this street doesn't match her story.
Yo, this man just hit me in my face with a brick, and all these black men just watched.
Her whole
This video
steve's
with more
disgusting.
than 1 million likes on the Shade
Every
Room's
time she
Instagram
talks,
page
like, she's-
captured the moments after what appeared to be a brutal attack in West Houston.
Y'all gonna let a man hit me in my face?
The woman is 33-year-old Rhoda Osman.
And that's the thing. It's not just that she's making the community look horrible, but the fact that she looks at some brothers who are standing around minding their own business and she calls them out and tries to vilify them on social media.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one thing to have a con going on. You got to hustle, whatever. I don't knock most hustles. Let me say that most, but I'll knock this one. But like the fact that she's trying to drag other people into it and make them look shitty. Like imagine like their friends, their girlfriends, their people, if they were to see that clip on TikTok.
Well, I'm sure we'll go into it, but it is pretty clear that this woman does not like black men. And I'm not trying to start no shit. I'm just keeping it real. She does not like black men, and it's very obvious.
Okay, let's see this.
I agree.
Done to anybody in my life to deserve this?
Seen here in
Heard that
tears
before.
in a hospital gown.
She told the detective that responded that she was hit in the head with a brick after she refused to give her phone number to a guy on the street.
And was that verified by any of the evidence that detectives looked at?
No, that was not verified.
Harris County prosecutor Keith Houston says surveillance videos from that early September morning show Osman hitting a man first.
So she's the one she was the aggressor.
She was the aggressor, yes.
And it was a water bottle that hit her, not a brick?
He did have a water bottle in his hand, and we think that's what left the mark.
According to court documents, she asked someone else to launch this GoFundMe for her recovery, raising more than $42,000. But as the story went viral, a blogger on TikTok called police, alerting them to this 2020 GoFundMe, which claimed a vicious assault by a security guard in Minneapolis.
Detective Thornton verified with Minneapolis police that there was no assault done at that time. It was completely fictional.
Prosecutors allege theft by deception and believe she would have received all that money had the campaign not been shut down.
The violence that I have suffered since September 3rd is just unbelievable. I can't even believe I'm here. They try to leave me for dead.
In an Instagram story posted Wednesday, Osman addressed those who have doubted her.
I actually have things going on in my life. I actually have real ways to make money. I don't have to get a GoFundMe for money. I actually can earn income because I'm actually educated and I actually am talented.
Of course, beware the person who calls themselves talented. It's like when people who clap for themselves after they do something awesome. So here's the whole thing. What up, Shane?
Hey, thank you for the subscribe, man.
Yeah, thank you, brother. So the thing is that not that I'm a big charitable guy myself. You know, I give to my church, and that's pretty much it. And I assume they're going to make the wise decision. But she reinforces why you shouldn't do Kickstarters,
Absolutely.
help fund, GoFundMe, any of these things, because the more and more you hear about these people, it seems like there's more scammers than not. Now, I could be wrong. These people could all be in need, and we only hear about the scammers. They're the only ones who make the news. But this shit is not helping
At all, man. And yo, she is chipped, man. But the video I have queued up for you next is from the OG O'Shea Duke Jackson. And no matter what you believe about him and his affiliations and connections to the Red Pill, which he exited, I want you to hear the commentary he has. Because if you thought I had smoke for this woman, if you think we have smoke for her, wait till you hear what he has to say.
Did you send that clip?
And tonight, a spokesperson for GoFundMe telling KPRC2 GoFundMe has zero tolerance for the misuse of our platform. The fundraiser has been removed from the platform. All donors have been refunded, and Rhoda Osman has been banned from using the platform for any future fundraisers. Osman did not respond when I reached out to her on Instagram this evening. Tonight, she is wanted here in Harris County on that theft charge.
Although I will say this, that is not a real attempt to reach out to people. And I've actually been hearing this a ton, that the modern day journalists are so lazy. They're like, I reached out and there was no comment, and they'll try to direct message you on Twitter, and that's not a real reach out.
Yo, real quick, I got to give you this digression because you brought it up. So, I had the news come out and cover, my group. You know what I do, right?
Yeah.
And we have been talking about it for weeks on end before it happened, and I hadn't heard anything from this chick, right? Tell me why I'm in the middle of teaching my class, and I look over and she walks in. She's like, "Hey, I just texted you. We're here for the interview." I'm like, "Honey."
She texted you 5 minutes before class started when you're getting suited up.
Right. I'm like, that's not going to work. So no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, the sheer laziness. And so we're going to talk about this later on, but our man, Star Wars Theory, has recently been in the news for various reasons. And in the article about him, they said, we reached out for comment. We reached out and there was no comment on his part. And in his own video, he's like, they never reached out to me. What are you talking about? And I'm sure they found like an old email of his from like 20 years ago and shot him an email or something. It's idiotic. Lazy ass bums. Just do your job.
Anyone with information on her whereabouts can report that to Houston police. We're live near the Galleria. I'm Bryce Newberry, KPR.
So in regards to the article, right, as you're queuing up the next video, there are some people making a defense of her. They're like, well, you didn't read the article. It is saying that she was assaulted. No, that's not what the article is alleging. The article is alleging the chronological order of events, which is that there was some dispute between her and a guy. She was the aggressor. She physically accosted that guy, and in response to being physically accosted, he hit her with a water bottle. Now, let's be, reasonable about this. Maybe Shaolin is right. Maybe there's some speculation. Did he hit her with a tumbler? Right? Because, but here's the crazy thing. A lot of people want to gloss over one fact. Keep your damn hands to yourself.
That's it. That's really it. At the end of the day,
unless it's in defense of your safety, keep your damn hands to yourself. Because not every guy is going to be like us up here, men who still believe in chivalry.
Yeah.
And for us to believe in chivalry, we have to believe in certain societal dynamics that say that we should be chivalrous, right? So you want the goose without the gander. You want your cake, but you don't want to not have your cake after you eat it. And this bitch was clearly lying from the onset, man. And the fact that it goes back that she did another GoFundMe, right? Alleging almost the same thing. She's done this 3 times. Only 2 times that she tried to make money off of it. But she also accused black women of accosting her. Did you see black men jumping on the internet like violence between black women is outrageous and we need to do something about it? No.
It's funny that you're talking about women keeping their hands off men because, as you know, one of Mantis's favorite pastimes is to sit around and watch videos on the internet of customers harassing or going too far with retail employees and retail employees fighting back,
giving them work. I love it.
I love it. And so, however, that has slowly mutated into different types of fights, different types of scuffles. At this point, I'm spending hours a day just watching any fight that is happening on the internet. And too many of them are someone says that the caption will be like, girls need to lay off men. And some girl will come over and try to start slacking a guy.
Right.
And he's not as chivalrous.
Yeah. He's the type of dude that's like, if you hit me, then I'll hit you back, right?
Look, you don't know what people go through, man. Maybe the man's dog just got hit by a car. Right. Maybe he lost his job. You know what I mean? Maybe he got in a car accident. You never know. Maybe it's on that last thread. You decide you want to mess with him. You don't want to do that. You remember that movie Falling Down? You remember that?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
What did he snap about? What was it? It was Michael Douglas with a shotgun. It was something.
Right.
Stupid.
I remember the glasses and him getting in his car, flipping out. But I don't really. Yeah. It's been a long times that
it was something like minute that made this man snap, and he gets the shotgun and like goes to work. So I'm just saying, you know, you never know what people go through. So
Pony says,
Absolutely.
I know Mantis used to watch bum fights back in the day. That's absolutely true, Pony.
All right.
You were outside a bar and there's a lady there waiting for an Uber. But before she gets in the Uber, somebody comes and says, hey, what's up, boo? How are you doing? And it's a man, right? And she says, hey, how are you doing? And he was like, hey, Leno, I'm trying to see what's up with you. I'd like to get your number. And she's like, date music? Ew, no, I could never date you. You're so ugly, O'Shea. Right? Who? And the guy walks around, picks up a brick and goes, boom, in the face. Immediately, her face starts swelling. She gets onto TikTok and she records a video. How would you feel? We'll stop the show. Yeah, a lot of us as men would feel very weird about that because we would at least try to do something or at least call the police. But that never happened because it didn't happen. It was all made up. And the person who made that up was Rhoda Osmond. Now, I'm talking about that because it's very interesting because when she came out and talked down about the men who didn't help her, she blamed black men. I'm not going to play the video of her face swelling because for whatever reason, YouTube will demonetize that. But she said, angry music, you black men watch me get hit in the face and you didn't do anything. Which caused what? So many people to start hating on black men and talking down on black men as being cowards. And
oh my God, I'm just pausing because of copyright, but
can we
I
talk
would
about
play
this editing real
Cynthia
quick,
G's
though?
video, but
yeah.
oops.
Whoever edited this needs like this is
Yo,
really
A raise. Yeah, absolutely.
His editor is like committed to the game.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, wait. Before you pause it, if you don't know who this woman is, her name is Cynthia G, and she's famously quoted for telling black women to abort their black sons in the womb.
Is there more to the context or?
Yeah, there's more if you're willing to stomach it. So she feels as if, though, now hold it, get ready for it, gentlemen, that black men are trying to erase black women by dating outside of their race. And since they're trying to erase us by dating outside of their race, we should erase them in the womb. That's a quote. Didn't misquote it, didn't misrepresent it. That's who Cynthia G is. And she, up until that bum bitch got kicked off of YouTube, had so many ride or dies, right? But she thought she was untouchable. She thought the things she was saying would not fall under hate speech. And for some reason, in a rare moment of clarity, YouTube was like, no, the things you're saying are quite hateful.
That's one of the most evil things I've ever heard, I think.
That's like Hitler level. Like,
yeah,
that's bad. Like,
yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, you know how many women, I'm not going to quantify it with a racial group. You know how many women will defend? Are you guys aware of the movement called the Divergent movement?
I am not.
No.
Okay. So they are the antithesis to the red pill movement, right? The black manosphere.
Oh,
they are
right,
black women who are done with black men, and they are just as crazy as some of these black motherfuckers over in the black manosphere. In fact, I would say they are equally as crazy, but Cynthia G is their patron saint, and she's been kicked off of YouTube. She's been demonetized. YouTube's new approach to deplatforming people. So.
They think it's going to create less drama, but really it's creating the same amount of drama.
Well, in her case, she got, get ready for it, excommunicado, because she thought that she was going to be able to get that bag over on other sites, but she just did not have the longevity. And in fact, people started a GoFundMe for her as well, saying they need to support the good work of Cynthia G. So that's who this woman is. Go for it.
She got kicked off the platform. Can I get a sound effect? Yeah. And all the black female haters of black men were down in black men, talking down on black men for not helping this lady. But then came the GoFundMe. And of course, people were donating and giving money to Rhoda Osmond, the lady in question. And guess what she started doing with the money? Well, no, it wasn't that she lost her job or needed her money to do something. She started doing things like this.
So I'm about to go rafting.
I'm about to let a Jamaican man massage this body. I need this to be documented because this woman told me that I can't wear a bikini, but every white woman is wearing a bikini, but because my butt is big, that's a problem. This is my body. It's valid. I can't leave my in the hotel room. This is how I look. I can't just leave my and then just come out without it. So what are y'all gonna do? I need y'all to write this down. I need y'all to document because I'm not paying $300 a night so I can leave my.
And so here's one of the problems I have with anyone who's ever donated to her for any reason. She sounds like a crazy person.
Clearly.
She is clearly someone who has serious mental issues. How did people not see that?
Because they saw their struggle. And okay, so let me be the one to say it, man. And let me put my serious face back on. So people saw their trauma in her perceived trauma, right? They thought that she was a champion and she's speaking out for them. No, man, she's just a combative psychopath, man. She's not doing anything to further the community. Hell, she's not doing anything to further the Somalian community, right?
This woman is like the opposite of like an aphrodisiac. She's like the other side, like
the boner killer,
dude. I feel like I just took a cold shower just listening to her cackle like a witch.
Listening to her go on, cause drama. That is so unattractive.
And here's the thing, man. So, and again, I want to be responsible because I am the responsible contrarian. I understand that there are some harmful and hurtful stereotypes about Black women out there, but this is not the woman you want to rest the defense of yourself on, right?
Please
because
don't.
In actuality, she is the living embodiment of someone that is a race hustler. Now we're going to talk about another bitch of the white persuasion in a little bit by the name of just Pearly Pasty Things, who dared to speak up against a man that only I get to talk bad about. No one else gets to talk bad about this man but me. But this bitch is evil. She's evil, bro. There's no other way to the claim, and allow me to use quote unquote woke definitions in politics. In a time where people claim that they are scared to call cops on Black males, you made the most egregious claim against Black males.
Sure. Yep.
Allow that to sit in for all my leftist friends. For all you guys who say calling cops on Black men is the equivalent of calling the death squad. Well, she did it. Where were you at when she did it?
Yep.
Now to all my conscious brothers who are like, you guys are in the justice system. We doubt them every time. Ain't nobody trying to compare this shit to Jonathan Majors, man. You know what I'm saying? This woman is a liar. She's a liar. And if Jonathan Majors is a liar, well, fuck him too. This woman's clearly a liar, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Roll the footage, man. I told you I was going to be on one tonight.
In the hotel room.
Love it.
My body is valid. There's nothing sexual about my body. There's nothing innately sexual about a person's human body.
As she goes on, she's
I'm
like
not gonna let
stupid.
it ruin my day because I have better things to do. But this is so fucking disgusting. Like, she's gonna be like, can you put on some other clothes? No, I cannot. I'm gonna be like this, and actually, I'm gonna take off the skirt and show you my thumb and twerk at my ass.
That's right. She went on vacation, and I thought that she was actually gay. But no, she said a Jamaican man is gonna rub that body. Oh my God. And the person who brought all this to the top was Celebrid Podcast. And guess what? That wasn't the first time that Rhoda Osmond said that she was attacked and launched a GoFundMe, because that happened in 2020. But we'll also get back to that. But let's get to the point of the conversation where all these Black women were trying to hold Black men accountable and on her side, although she was scamming them. And guess what she had to say about the scamming thing?
They feel, let's say whatever, everything was lied. It's crazy to me how they would go so hard against a Black person that they think is a scammer. But you have these white police officers who unalived Black children and made $1 million and had a GoFundMe. And they did not bring that energy to these people that hate us. And that's what really upsets me about my...
Yo, what is she referencing?
So in regards to like cops who, in the George Floyd murder, right? Cops that had GoFundMe or had other people set up
for like their
GoFundMe.
legal shit.
Yeah. But who didn't go in on that? Wait,
And I tell this.
Pause it.
Because I'm just saying, wait, hold on. George Floyd wasn't a child. She says killing black children. And he wasn't a child. He was a grown fucking man.
I'm using him as an example, but they were referring to like the young man who was shot by the police for having like, a toy gun
You meant like in
that.
general. Okay.
In general. But who didn't go in on that? Who didn't have an opinion on that? I most certainly had an opinion on it. People had an opinion on corruption. Miss me with that bullshit. Miss me. This bitch got me so worked up. I'm about to fucking die over here, son.
Steve, man. Steve's bringing it tonight.
To every single person that has an issue with you, that try to get you shut down.
Listen.
I'm like, how dare y'all come at this black woman? And y'all don't even have the facts.
And y'all,
you got
we also say that black people, we love scamming. We talk about scamming all the time. Since when do we have a problem with scamming?
Yo, that didn't hurt the black community or anything.
I'm having trouble.
Are you paying attention right now? Yo, rewind that part right there. What did she just say?
Where is RM? Where is RM when this is happening?
Somebody invite her, please. Please.
Yo, out of love and respect, I'm not going to be the one to send that message.
I'm going to send that text as soon as I...
And I tell this to every single person that has an issue with you, that try to get you shut down. I'm like, how dare y'all come at this black woman? And y'all don't even have the facts.
And y'all,
you got
we also say that black people, we love scamming. We talk about scamming all the time. Since when do we have a problem with scamming? Last time I checked, I want black people to scam. They scammed us.
You see at the end, she loves scamming. She don't have no problem with scamming. Oh my God. Did you see that? Shout out to her. She didn't have any problem with scamming, but it gets worse. Right after that, she alleged that 2 black women tried to attack her. Oh my God. How is she having these many problems?
I was so happy to report this is my first weekend out without having a panic attack. But then I got actually attacked physically. As you can see, I have a welt right here. A little welt right here. Don't worry, I cannot fight. But 2 black women in their 40s decided to attack me as I was leaving the establishment.
So many people were talking about Celebrity Podcast. They were out there hating on her, talking about she's a black female hater and all of this stuff. But you know what? The receipts got in to the sergeant, and you know what? She actually spoke to the sergeant because her calls were going viral. She kept calling the Houston Police Department, finding out that no police departments were there. And yeah, these fraud cases started getting activated, and here's proof of that.
Since day one, I'm not a police officer, I'm a concerned citizen, but what I do is I expose people who lie, and especially try to tear down the police department, because all it's going to do, people are not going to trust going to you guys, right? Correct. So I was trying to show Detective Thornton that Rhoda Osmond was creating another scenario to get money, and it's like she didn't want to see the evidence when it started to get hot. And then she stopped talking to me for 2.5 weeks, and it really upset me because she was asking me for all this evidence, and I was sending it to her, and then she ghosted me. But when you have a person who was claiming she was assaulted, and now she's in the club drinking again, doing handstands, taking off her top, doing all these things that victims usually don't do, when the assailant is still out there. It's been almost 2 months. There hasn't been an arrest. And Rhoda Osmond is still, doing her makeup, getting her haircut, spending money on diamonds and pearls, and it's just it's out of control. And I just wanted to bring this to your attention because for weeks I've been ignored.
Yeah, and you say you sent those videos and things to Detective Thornton?
That is correct. I sent her this. And I can forward you everything I sent her. I said, hey, Detective Thornton, you told me that you were the one that froze her GoFundMe, but now she's claiming she got almost $50,000 and she's in the strip club. I said, can you please call me? Because I have a fraud case against her, and if this is what's going on, is the case open? Is it closed? I want to continue my case.
Yo.
And here's
the first thing I have to say is, what was the $43? What did she claim the $43,000
medical bills? medical bills.
There's no way a few bruisings on the face is going to cost $43,000.
Put some ice on that shit and go to sleep.
Yeah.
My guy, you don't need 43 grand for that. I'm just saying. I should know. We all know. We all got knocked upside the head plenty of times in this lifetime.
Plenty of times.
Yeah.
Bro.
Never cost $43,000 either.
Here's the thing, man. You're not talking to 3 red pill guys, right? In spite of how you might want to paint us and what you're hearing right now, you're not talking to you're not talking to 3 red pill guys who are just trying to dismantle and dismay and suppress black women. No, my mother is black. Now, allow me to say that with the reverence it should deserve. This is not like a white guy saying, I got a black friend. No, motherfucker, my mother is black. Yo, I would literally do a bid today if someone disrespected my mother and I was in front of them.
Hey,
like I would do, no problem. Get me all the peanut butter sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? I'll take all the county cookies. You disrespect my mother on some black woman shit, man, you gonna squabble, man. we are.
Yeah. Cincy Stars in the house.
What's good, Cincy? Yo, the fact of the matter is, what y'all don't know is, man, what you don't know about this is that the woman that's doing this investigation, who is denounced as a unemployed social media detective, no, she did us a solid, man. Because if you are really about black empowerment, we don't need these type of people amongst us. That's right. It hurts the movement. It hurts the movement.
Yeah.
Let O'Shea cook, man. Because first of all, shout out to O'Shea.
You did just throw her in there.
I did. No, I called her out. I called her out. She said, "See how I get into it." So Bex, here's what it is. I even texted RM right now. Right. RM, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Bex, but as I recall, you had a positive reaction to this woman's original claim. I want to know what made you originally believe her. Do you still believe her? Will you still defend her? Let us know in the chat.
It's getting deep tonight. It's getting deep.
I'm not going to let this woman fraud the system so that the next woman can do it and potentially be harmed.
Okay. Yeah, I see that Officer Neal talked with, I think, Rhoda back in October 18th. Yeah. She was an unknown female, does not know. They approached the security guard at the location, mentioning the fact she was hit with the brick, supposedly. But then the people at the bar are saying, no, she was in there, partying it up and got hit with a box.
Yes, I just want to make sure that right is right and wrong is wrong. And I think that what she did was she made the Houston police look bad, and she just made all this money, and she is laughing in everyone's faces.
Right, and once this case is over, we'll probably send all the fraud and fraudulent information to our financial crimes and property division.
Okay.
They're the ones that handle any type of financial crime or fraud, or maybe even I'll make a phone call or two today or tomorrow.
Gotcha, bitch.
But then here's the icing on the cake.
Editor of the year, I think.
I know.
For when the Tubies come around, they need to give the editor like an award.
Most certainly.
I gotcha, bitch. So Bex wants to make the record clear that she did not have this woman's back, even though I remember it like that. She says, go back and view the footage. We will. Don't worry. I'm going to double check. Every time you say anything, Bex, I go back and look at the chat log just so I can catch you on some shit. Is she still wanted? Have they caught her?
Rhoda got charged and she is banned from GoFundMe. Check this out.
She told the detective that responded that she was hit in the head with a brick after she refused to give her phone number to a guy on the street.
And was that verified by any of the evidence that detectives looked at?
No. That was not verified.
Harris County prosecutor Keith Houston says surveillance videos from that early September morning show Osmond hitting a man first.
So she's the one she was the aggressor.
She was the aggressor, yes.
And it was a water bottle that hit her, not a brick?
He did have a water bottle in his hand, and we think that's what left the mark.
According to court documents, she asked someone else to launch this GoFundMe for her recovery, raising more than $42,000. But as the story went viral, a blogger on TikTok called police, alerting them to this 2020 GoFundMe, which claimed a vicious assault by a...
And so, because this was on the other video, this newscast. And so what it is this is the perfect scam. And so it's not like she kind of stumbled on it and she made a GoFundMe and like people gave her too much money or something. It's clear it was all set up, right? Yep. So she starts an altercation. So people have seen an altercation on the streets. We actually, the first time we did this video, do you remember we went over the evidence that it would appear that the nurse thought she injected saline into her face? Right? So there's that. She does that. Then she puts up a TikTok pointing out the guys on the street being like, these black brothers didn't have my back. We're going to let me be murdered. And it also plays up to a similar idea that a lot of women have about men, this fear about men, right? That men will suddenly snap and murder you, although it's extremely unlikely that will ever happen. But women have this fear, and they want to believe it to be true, right?
Right.
I'm sure you've had women say that or women express that fear, and I'm like, yo, bitch, slow down. I'm angry with you. I'm not going to kill you. I mean, I could kill you if I wanted to, but I'm not going to, right? So, like, she's almost like an evil genius, this woman.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man.
That has all the elements to go viral, to get people to care.
Yeah, and she took something that, like, can happen, man, does happen. Again, let me be the first to say it. There is violence in the community in regards to black women. But this is why you must discern, dissect before you jump on every case, man. And now, look, I'm over at the Shade Room. And the Shade Room, calling you out, they reported on this, right? And reported on it without using ethical journalism. You remember when those terms would go with each other? Ethical journalism?
I think it was before I was alive, but I read about it in a history book.
We had whole panels of people. Bro, I can send you clip after clip. That one brother, that one studious looking brother that works with the Young Turks, man. He's not old. I mean, he's not young. He's an old dude. But he's like, black men not defending black women and enforcing this narrative. Now, I have to ask the question, man. Where's the data on that? Right? Where's the widespread conclusive data that black responsible men will not protect black women? Because the conversation morphed into something else. And this is my huge point of contention with the red pill. There's the point of, why should I have to protect you? You're not under my provision. Well, my argument to those weak motherfuckers would be, listen, man, I'm just not going to let some shit happen. And there's the very reasonable chance that something's going to happen to me. I'm not just going to watch a woman get hit with a brick. But
any woman of any race, or child, or weak person.
Now, now this shit's popping off, man. It's popping off on the internet. There's a dude by the name of Conscious Lee. Conscious Lee, I don't want no smoke with you, man, because y'all motherfuckers in the conscious community.
He's Asian?
No, Conscious Lee is a black man.
That sounded like an Asian name right there.
Yeah, y'all can get weird over there, man. Now, Conscious Lee made a point that we need to address if we're going to be ethical ourselves. Why is it that we are so doubtful of the legal system in every other regard, except for this one? His overarching claim is that, how do we know this isn't just another corrupt establishment, attack against a person of color? What do you guys think?
So I would argue that this goes into what I was saying about men, and this also goes to do with the police and the legal system, and pretty much any system you like, or news reporting, right?
Right.
We live in an age where people believe in fake news. Yep. They believe totally what their tribe believes, right? And so no matter what facts you hit them off with, they're like, it's a conspiracy. And so when you believe that the other side is corrupt, absolutely corrupt,
right,
it allows you to pick and choose when you want to believe them.
Right.
And it's the same thing. They're like, all men are scum. And so that's why they can vilify you when they feel like it.
Right.
But when they need a ride or they need something heavy picked up or they need to be railed like they've never been railed before in their life, they get real sweet to me, right? What I'm just saying, right? And so when a crackhead is breaking into their house, they like a cop, but any other day they don't like a cop because that can lead to profitability things, clout on the internet, or you just keeping it real in front of your friends, right?
Right. Keeping it so real that it's not even real anymore, man. What
is
think,
real?
Shallow?
So, it's funny to me because this whole thing, it's this woman in particular, man, she has quite literally exacerbated a massive wound that's been in the Black community for a very long time. The whole war between Black men and Black women, right? Because I remember, I hear what Bex was saying, because when the news dropped, and you see screenshots of her face, she looks like Harvey Dent. One side of her face is like all, and you immediately go like, "Whoa, that's kind of crazy." And if you don't have the ability to think for yourself, which most adults should, but unfortunately don't these days, maybe you would do a little bit more research. But if you take it at face value, it looks bad, and you roll with it that way. And unfortunately, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Now, as we're seeing over time, more evidence has come to light that, clearly something is amiss. The problem here is that, people don't want to seem to accept that. And what I'm really pissed about personally is, how Black men were just utterly eviscerated over this entire thing. And when we find out that this charlatan is just that, we get crickets. Where are the apologies at?
Because I noticed
can
that
I get an apology somewhere? Can what?
Women in the chat, apologize to Shaolin right now.
I want an apology. You got dragged through the mud for this.
I noticed that this didn't. I noticed this didn't go as viral as the original claim.
Exactly. No one's talking about it, huh?
Yeah, but everyone was saying that.
They're wrong, huh? Okay.
So one woman did apologize on the Shade Room, right? And I'm trying to find her apology.
Real fast. Pink Princess says, my first reaction was shock because, of course, look at her face. And I had questions just like everyone else, but I kept my mouth shut because the shit was looking janky.
Exactly.
Okay, there we go.
Exactly.
What up, Laney-O? Welcome. Hello, fam.
Yo, Laney. What's up, Laney? A shout out to her because I don't know if y'all noticed, she's been streaming on Twitch. She's been like gaming, streaming on Twitch. So I joined a couple of times. She's doing her thing. So
well, I was never invited, so it is what it is.
Shout out to Laney.
Shout out to Laney. Child, the Shade Room don't give AF about ethics.
100%. Here's the thing, man. Here's the crazy thing about that, right? And knowing that the Shade Room gives no shits about ethics, why do so many people go there and quote it as if it's holy scripture, right? So above all. But one woman did in the Shade Room comments say this: let me be the first, pay attention, let me be the first to apologize to the men I cussed out while defending this lady. Here's the crux of it, gentlemen. Why must we suspend our critical judgment? I've told you before. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I think I laid this out for Bex. If I was elected as the supreme ruler and chancellor of the Black community, my official public statement on anything like this would be, we are currently looking into the situation. As of right now, we stand behind the sister. But if we find out that this is fabricated or false in any way, shape, or form, we will send her the way of Vanilla Ice. We will excommunicado her and pretend like we never liked that song as a whole.
You know what's wrong with that statement?
What?
Because if you are supporting her, someone who supports somebody doesn't say that extra part of the statement. Exactly. I don't say I got Steve's back unless he turns out to be a shady motherfucker, in which case I'm going to help you guys lynch him.
No,
right? Like, obviously, if I really had your back, I would never say the second part, right?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that, my brother. Here's the thing about it. I can suspend judgment up until, and we want to be a community, right? But a community has to be willing to be accountable to itself. So here we have an allegation against the community, or at least one half of the community, right? I'm only dealing with Black men and Black women in regards to this claim. If you identify as something else, I'm not trying to woefully leave you out, but you're out, right? So I'm dealing with I'm dealing with black men and black women. Someone makes a claim against the other half of the community, I must address the claim first. Now, as your supreme black chancellor, we're looking into this. Right now, no charges to be pressed. If I find out something else, they're out, right? And that's how I dealt with all these red pill fools, man. All these dudes that clearly have issues with their black mothers. Don't take that out on black women. You got an issue with your mother, man. Go get therapy, brother. Seek therapy, my brother.
Right.
But this woman was not the hill that so many black women should have died on, especially if they were the victims of violence, right? And y'all should be the ones that should be most angry. And this is not some conservative black talking point where it's like, you should be the ones fighting the fight. No, you literally should be angry, right? You should literally be angry that someone took your trauma and your experience and used it for her own gain. But as I scroll through the shade room, I see things such as how did they find out it was fake? I still want to know why her face was swollen with blood. Where was there blood? Where the fuck was there blood in any of the videos? Swollen with blood and cut on the side of her face. Where was there a cut? There was no cut.
I don't think there was a cut.
People are saying allergic reaction, but why did she have blood and a wound?
There was no blood. There was
Show
no
me the video.
Yeah. None of that.
With the blood.
We actually on this show had a video, and we were looking at we paused it and we were examining her face. In fact, as I recall,
none of that.
Yes.
None at all. Entering the chat, Simon Ghost Riley.
Yo, Ghost.
Says, holy crap, Mantis! It's been a while. What up?
He's my favorite Call of Duty character. What's up, Ghost?
I didn't expect to get a free 5 grams of weed today, but a fat Mantis stream is just a cherry on the top. What up? Happy Monday, my man.
Man of culture. Hello.
Yes. Team Mizzle, she says, hi, ninjas. This is politics, Mantis, says the Pink Princess. Supreme Black Chancellor. I know. I was thinking that. We're going to have to call Steve that from now on.
Yo, I'm
Darth Nicholas.
If y'all would just suspend your free will for 14 days.
Darth Nicholas.
For 14 days, I could turn this shit around. If you would elect me willingly as your supreme black chancellor, I'll turn this fucking franchise around. Bro. I'm telling you, I'll turn this shit around.
I'll turn all this shit around. He'll stop the scamming black women. Yo, I'll vote for you if you can mend the feud between black men and black women.
Before we jump off this topic, I have to preface hopefully our next topic or one of our later topics, but we need to talk about it. Is anyone up here conservative, libertarian, anyone, whatever your political views?
I'm libertarian-ish.
Do you?
I'm a libertarian who believes in universal health care.
I have no problem with that. Is there anyone up here that believes that Martin Luther King was a race hustler?
I mean,
if there was ever a race hustler in history, it was not that man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, a certain pigmentally challenged woman by the name of just Pearly
this
Face.
bitch. And actually, you know what's funny? I gotta say this because I gotta take back something that I said in the past, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think the first time she made an appearance in one of our videos, I had nothing but positive things to say about Pearly.
You did, because you wanted to tap that, and I've known you long enough, Mantis. I'm like, Mantis, the bitch is stabbing me right now. He's like, Steve, what is stabbing?
If you really think about it. And since that day, I have regretted it because slowly and surely she continues to say shit I can't even back up, even at my horniest. Even when I want another redhead notch on the belt, I'm like, oh God, but how do I? How do I? Oh my God, this woman.
Real quick, I gotta say, they're no, not saying I'm whatever, just putting it out there. Yo, this chick is so completely unremarkable. I have no idea why she's so famous. She is, and I hate saying this, I do not identify with any red pill ideology, but I will say she is incredibly average looking.
Yes. Average at best, some might say.
When I look at her, I just feel like she wouldn't be able to make a bowl of cereal properly.
Okay.
Like the milk and cereal ratio wouldn't mix. She look like she don't season her food. Look like she don't cook it all the way through. Like she just
undercooked chicken. He said.
He just doesn't seem worth any.
Wait. You're Sheldon. Let me ask you a question, man. You can surmise this all real quick, but you got to be honest. You got to be willing to go here with the Black Chancellor. Does she look like the type of chick that uses teeth during a certain activity?
Oh,
some guys are into that. But I will actually tell you how she became popular. It has nothing to do with sexuality.
It has all to do with weak ass black men supporting her.
Well, that later on, but in the beginning, what it was, she wanted to be a YouTuber, and actually, I've seen somebody do a history lesson about her, and her original YouTube channel had nothing to do with politics. But you know what it did have? Production value. Her mother is the CEO of this corporation. Her family's very wealthy.
Okay.
Her parents literally paid for a studio. That's why in her original YouTube, she was having guests, like actual guests who were getting paid to show up. She was having guests and all these people, and she had an apartment that she turned into a studio. That she didn't even live there. It was just there to be a studio. And I got to tell you, I noticed that like the first leg up at being a YouTuber is really production value. And I know a lot of people who have made it, have 1 million subs. They're like, that's not true. I worked for everything. No, none of you fucking worked for shit. Your first 10,000 subscribers came because you had an expensive camera and you had an expensive set. Okay. Almost nobody makes it on merit anymore. So that's the first thing you do. But eventually she didn't really have content until she had that slip up where she made some racial comment that made the entire black community turn on her.
Wait. So I saw the documentary you're talking about. Let me give you another chronological event that matches up with that, right? So the first time I saw Just Pearly Things or even heard her name was when she showed up on a Kevin Samuels show as one of the women calling in, trying to figure out how she can land a man that's high value. Then O'Shea Duke Jackson, the OG that we just listened to, alleges and provided receipts that she had reached out to him. So she had been trying to get into black, quote unquote, black YouTube for quite some time. When she started running her show, she was working with another young lady who was actually married to like a military general or some shit like that, who was actually on the come up as a female Red Pill commentator who jumped off the ship of Red Pill because she didn't want all the drama that came with it. Pearly's ascent is all the things you just described, Mantis. High production value. She has an insane, we got to be honest, she has an insane work ethic. She even admitted herself. She's like, I'm not the most talented person, but what I don't do is quit. I work at whatever I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to respect that. But what she wound up doing was she overestimated her cookout invitation.
Right. Yes, I remember that. She made,
yeah, she overestimated.
What was it though? What did she say? I forget.
Okay, so it started with little things, right? So she had an all black cast or contributors, and they were on 20, I forget what they call this type of contract, man, but it's like 24/7, some shit like that. Her entire crew were signed to her on her thing. And then a guy by the name of something Garvey, man, one of her early contributors, man, and I'm not disparaging the brother. He's the one that kind of blew the top off of it, like, you're a colonizer. And then there was the Nick Fuentes. There was a lot of
before the Nick Fuentes, here's what I'm saying. There was one event where she had like a bunch of black guests on, and she made a comment. I think it might have been about slavery. I cannot quote it because
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
she said stupidly, I'm trying to get all my Africans to America. And people were like, what the fuck did you just say?
And so if you notice, she started getting a huge bump of followers after, and she basically noticed, as we noticed, that she says, if I say more controversial things, I will get more bumps. And since then, she's just doing controversial things. Nick Fuentes was another step. Yeah. She making comments about black leaders. Her recent one is MLK. She says women shouldn't vote.
Oh.
She has a shirt that one of her actual merch says women shouldn't vote. And she's literally made the comment. She's like, women are basically like children. You can browbeat them and push them around so that they're not in control of themselves, so they shouldn't be able to vote.
another one of these YouTube wannabe celebrity people that literally parrot what they think they want their subscribers to hear. That's
Right.
what that is. She thinks she, all the crazy little fans want to hear that shit, but we really don't. That Star Wars girl does that shit too. That's why I can't stand her. She's the same. He's the same exact way.
Yeah, you know I'll defend my Star Wars girl.
Oh, of course you will.
Oh, your future ex-wife that me and Courtney are going to unfortunately have to go to the wedding, pay thousands of dollars to sit through that fucking seasonless fucking fish meal you're going to feed us, man. Here's my issue with Pearly, man. Here's my issue with Pearly, right? She overestimated her invitation to the cookout, but her commentary, just like Rhoda, was all based on victimhood. And now this is where I have to pivot and switch, right? All you female red pill commentators that pretend to be allies to men, I doubt 95% of you. There's one woman who I trust, and I could be wrong about her, but because she doesn't identify as a red pillar, she identifies as a men's advocate, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Men's,
Like
men's rights advocate.
men's rights
that
advocate. And the scope of that is solely in regards to custody battles. I think men are woefully, good men, I should say, are woefully underrepresented in this argument. Just go Google it. Go look at the laws on the books in California in regards to custody battles for men. The numbers are skewed against good men trying to get their families. Pearly jumped up on the black manosphere. You ever wonder why Pearly never got deep into the white or manosphere proper? Because they didn't want her. They knew she was a low IQ. They knew she was a low IQ bitch. But a bunch of simping ass black men were like, well, if this white woman is saying it, it gots to be true. You idiot. Now look at her. She's up here talking about Martin Luther King was a race hustler.
Yeah, she feels that she can make these comments because we've let her sleep in the corner for, a couple nights now.
Let's be real, man.
She's feeling real comfortable.
Got to restrict these invites to the cookout, man. Too many people get them. We too open with them.
It's just us talking right now. Is Pearly not that girl that you look at her at 4:55 when the after party from the club is closing and like, well, I guess.
And honestly, in terms of the YouTubers that she courted in terms of her numbers, I bet you anything that's exactly the history. I bet you she was blowing half those guys. Because from my understanding, she has zero self-esteem. Right. And so, as you've even said, actually in her early days of YouTube, and as you said on the Kevin Samuels thing, she was blatant about saying she really wanted a man and she didn't know how to bag a man. Yeah, she would say that publicly.
Yo, didn't she? She got
rejected by
somebody.
Did.
Who was it?
Didn't she get what?
She got rejected by one of these YouTube red pill dudes, and it was a beef. It ended up being a beef.
Oh, it was mediocre. Dude. It was mediocre tutorial and reviews.
Yeah.
He went on her show, and after the controversy broke with her, he was like, "Yo, do not put our episode up." He's like, "I want nothing to do with you." Now, the guy that exposed her, Shaolin, was one of her own fucking former contributors when she was trying to do her network hustle, and his name is Sarah Garvey. Now, let me just say this right now. I have no beef with Sarah Garvey. I disagree with a lot of shit he says when it comes to the black diaspora. I do. In regards to his commentary on black Americans, some things he said where I'm just like, watch your fucking mouth. Watch your fucking mouth, bro. But he did expose her in her, what he called, I don't use the term colonizer, and I don't think that's actually an actual term that, it's but he's the one that exposed it. But mediocre tutorials and reviews. Rejected her. Melanie King, also, that's the light-skinned sister that you like, right. Shaolin. That, yeah, I mean, come on, it's Melanie King. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, play the video, man.
First, we're checking in with the chat. Shani says 14 days, trying to flatten the curve.
Yeah, I can fix this shit in 14 days.
Ghost says, you may not remember me, but I went by Derek Morningstar back on Spoon, mostly hung out in Mikey's streams. Hey, now I know who you are. What up, brother? Laney says, I'm with Mantis, laugh out loud. I love it when a woman says that. Rebeck says, define race hustler. We're about to find out. Mantis, you were simping. No, I was not simping. I was not simping. I never simped for Pearly things. I was just like, I would hit that, which is different. Much different. Straight up fanboying. Yo, why don't you chill, Bex, before I called you out again? Pigment challenged woman. Yo, goddamn, that's one of the hottest flames of all time. Says Ghost. Heart, eyes, and all. Okay, calm down, Bex. You're about to.
Hey.
She says all of what Shaolin said.
There you go.
Thanks.
Speaking of simping, careful, man. OnlyFans simps be paying $40 a week to be seeing that teeth freaky stuff. Yes,
sad.
It's true. It's true.
Does Pearly have an OnlyFans?
No, but Adam 22 tried to get her to do a porn with him.
Yeah, he offered her, I think, like $1 million. Actually,
would you watch it, Mantis?
I would. I wouldn't necessarily like use it, but I'm saying I'd watch it as like a novelty piece. You know, it's like
novelty piece.
Yo, in case you don't know, Mantis is an aficionado when it comes to this adult. What is the exact term? Bex, help me out here. Adult sexual athlete film.
Remix says, "Nah, Steve said it. Weak ass. That think smashing white woman equals reparations." Oh,
wait, run that one back. Run it back. What did I say?
She's saying about those weak ass fools who had her back.
Oh,
in the black YouTube world.
Yo, it. What can I say that we haven't said about the red pill? In fact, when I wanted to interview Shaolin before the collapse of the Hold Up TV network, it was going to be on the Black Manosphere. That was going to be obviously all the endeavors he has going on, getting to know Shaolin, which we need to get that back on the books. Yeah. But Shaolin said one thing it said a bunch of things. One thing that was extremely poignant one night about the red pill. And it's like, yo, these guys don't represent black men as a whole, man. And it's like, yo, watching them simp for Pearly, that shit was crazy, man. That shit was absolutely fucking crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shani says, "Damn, Mantis." I don't know what she's damning, but I've said a lot of things that should be damned. Of course he'd watch it, she said. All right, so let's get
everybody. It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode.
Yeah, his editor is sick.
Yeah, real.
Of course, we all have our different positions of who is who in the black community. We talk about our leaders. We talk about their contributions. I've had some of those debates on my channel. I tend to not do that anymore because I don't really want to be disrespectful of people that, I might have some issues with. All right. Some people are very controversial. From Malcolm X to Martin Luther King.
But here's what I'm saying: you're a YouTuber. It's your job to be controversial.
All right, so let me explain why he takes that position. So, in case you don't know who O'Shea Duke Jackson is, man, he might be considered quotation fingers, the man that really started the Black Manosphere. We're talking about a man that did content on, get ready for it, Mantis, Google Plus.
And for you youngins, Google Plus was an attempt.
It was amazing. I love Google Plus, man. I loved it.
I actually liked it. I actually did like it. But it was like one of those many it was a proto social media site. Right. It didn't really know how to do it.
Shout out to Malcolm X, man.
Hell yeah.
Shout out. No qualifier.
No, it needs none.
To Louis Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, Clarence 13X, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, so on and so forth. I try to look at the good of what the brothers have contributed to our community. But if you have differences of opinion, I really wouldn't mind having that conversation with people who are in the black community. Now, what I do find disheartening are those people who are not in the African American community, and the African American community is
I love this image.
Seeking.
It's a brother sandwich between two allies.
Right.
He does not look pleased.
Trying to tell him about blackness. They're like cutting him off and stuff. They're cutting him off when he's trying to say something, and they're like, "Well, actually, Dr. King's dream was."
seeking out your community. And if they are, most likely there could be a reason because they feel offended. But usually the African American community is not trying to seek out other people's community. It happens, but but when somebody, let's say, dies from another leader, like let's say Julio Cesar Chavez, right? He's a national holiday. You will never see African Americans talking down on that for the most part. But we do see Michael
I didn't know
Rappaport
that.
having a say against the African American community. But Dr.
Pause it right now. This motherfucker needs to shut his mouth today.
Expeditiously.
Let me turn my camera on. Yes, my brother. Yes. This guy right here is another person that's overestimated his invitation to the cookout. He wants black people to speak up on the Israel-Palestine situation so bad. Watch your fucking mouth. Watch your fucking mouth, bro. Watch your fucking mouth. That's my position on it.
I can already imagine. I already imagine what this fool thinks they're gonna say. He's like what he thinks the black community is gonna come up with, and it has nothing to do with reality.
Bro, here's the thing, man. You listen to a Tribe Called Quest album. I'm glad it elevated your consciousness. But watch your mouth, man. And Michael Rappaport, man, his commentary, this is why I never ever jumped on the bandwagon when he was dissing Trump. You can diss Trump all you want, man. That don't endear you to me, motherfucker. You're not bringing any substance to the conversation. This dude is literally why black people say watch your mouth the way we do.
It's funny too, because I didn't even know everyone was mad at this dude. I remembered a few years ago, the left really loved this guy, and now it's completely flipped the other way.
Yeah.
Well, what it is that a lot of people on the left have gone so far left, they're like unreachable. Basically, you throw out a lifeline, you're like, "Yo, bro, you've gone nuts," and they can't reach the lifeline, and they're headed toward the waterfall or whatever.
Yeah.
Strange analogy, I know.
Oh no, it made sense.
And strangely enough, black people might not want to weigh in on a situation that has nothing to do with them in regards to what might be potentially right.
This has been going on. This has gone on forever. White allies think that because blacks have been oppressed, they're going to have the backs and put the time and energy in to cape for every other fucking group in the world, people from other countries, ethnic groups we've never met, religious groups we've never met, gays, trans people, everyone. It's our job to now protect all the oppressed people because we were the first mainstream oppressed people. And it's like, motherfucker, we're not even free yet. So I'm not going to fucking waste my time to help you. Why don't you help your fucking self? The same way we help ourselves.
Yeah.
Yo, go ahead, Sean.
Because there ain't... Okay.
No, Sean, cook.
No, he was cooking. I was
I'm good.
Just quietly,
You ever notice when Shaolin's on here, man? He's like the silent instigator. We become more emboldened with Shaolin on this.
You will not be canceling me.
I don't think he's the instigator, though. I think that's in your head. I think we don't need him to say crazy shit.
Roll the bean footage.
Dr. Martin Luther King on his birthday is supposed to be a person that loves black people, right? This is a American Jewish person. However, we also see this with Just Pearly Things. So I'm going to deal with her.
She looks pretty cute there.
Now, Just Pearly Things and both Michael Rappaport both got a lot of their clout from the African American or the black community, especially Just Pearly Things. Just Pearly Things was known largely for her show with Sarah Garvey and just basically doing.
You know why? I'll just say it right now, and we gotta be real because it's a fanboy modeling school. Apologies to anyone who's offended. She's accepted because she likes that black dick.
Right.
She likes black dick, and that has been a huge part of her success.
So let me quantify that by saying that. You ever seen that guy on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok? Dark-skinned brother, portly, and he's famous for making the angry face. And his most famous meme is, "Y'all gonna stop sending me this video of this angry dog and telling me I'm gonna look at it?"
Yeah.
That's Just Pearly's ex-boyfriend. Is
it really
with her? Yes, that's her ex-boyfriend.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get deep. We'll get deep into it, brothers. You know your boy Steve is on the job. The black Supreme Chancellor lets nothing slide.
I don't know what to make of that. I have to process this information.
Yeah, no, this is weird.
Okay.
A lot of work with blacks. King Riches, Auntie Jenny, the
By
whole
the way,
staff was black.
There's nothing wrong with
She
liking black
emailed
dick.
me, a black person who was pro-black, wanted me to collaborate with her. She wanted to talk to mediocre tutorials and reviews. She wanted to talk to that guy. But this is basically what she was trying to do to build her name. She got her fame off the blacks. This is very similar to Rappaport. A lot of Rappaport's success has largely been off of black culture, all right? Hanging around black rappers, black athletes. He had their whole back and forth with Kevin Durant. This is not, something he's known for, basically just as an, 100% hanging out with the, Jewish community. Even though he's Jewish, same thing with Vlad. Vlad TV, Rappaport, and Just Purdy Things have largely gotten their fame and fortune from hanging around or being tied to the African-American hip-hop entertainment markets. Okay? So what happens is Just Purdy Things waits until, Martin Luther King's birthday to say this about him. Look at this. The real red pill is that Dr. King was a race hustler. Let's look at some of the comments here. Observe, ex discern. No, he was not. There was no financial gain from talking about race back then. Don't look at the past with today's lens. The people that are parodying him today are race hustlers. King Humble goes, disrespectful you are. Ludovic, you're a gender hustler. Mark Baldwin, white guy. I enjoy many of your posts, but this one is disgraceful. David Hill, I'm confused. Were black Americans not allowed to head west to claim to the free land? Actual question. Now, let me just do this. Sarah Garvey had asked her. This is Sarah Garvey, who's a brother that is not an African American, a brother that is in the UK. He has some understanding of our community, but not all of it. But he has a good understanding, a pretty good grip on what he believes happens in Black America based on his experience as a black brother living in London. He asked her this question about reparations. Let's play that clip.
Do you think that historical catastrophes must be compensated for?
No.
No.
That's stupid.
So then, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
So then, how come
Stop.
there were groups of people that got compensation?
You're telling me that she didn't give him sloppy toppy? Look at her face, Shaolin. Shaolin, look at her face, man. This is a woman that has wiped her lip a couple of times in this man's presence. Right? Am I right?
It's very for instance, like Jewish people, Chinese people, Japanese people with the bombs. Like there were groups of people who got compensated.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna just insert my political statement right now. It has nothing with the first groups of people he's talking about. Because 1 minute he's talking about people who were oppressed within the borders of their country against their own government, and then he puts in Japanese people and he says with the bombs. Those are victims of war.
Right.
So are they suggesting that people should get reparations for having relatives in the past who suffered from war? Because that would be literally every human that ever existed.
Wait, so in actuality, and this is open for debate, I think what he's actually referencing is when Japanese people were put into
internment camps. Okay, so that would make more sense. But when he said with the bombs, and I was like, you think I'm paying the rich country of Japan for any fucking reason because they lost a war to me? Those fuckers can polish my shoes right now. That's what they get for losing a war.
Mantis hates karate, is what this is. Really
Don't even get me started on karate.
So it wasn't fair.
What? Well, I'm talking about like when I think about group, I think about reparations. So I mean, maybe if the people were still alive today, like I don't know, maybe. But like when you said historical, I thought you meant like at the past, not the present.
Yeah, so like in the past, so like people talk about slavery. So in the past, you know, the Holocaust happened. In the past, you know, the Japanese, but people got compensated for it.
Yeah.
There's a book, right, called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And when you read that,
pause it. Here's where her argument falls apart, right? When she says in the past, right? If she was one of those people that didn't believe in compensation at all, then I would be okay with her stance. But the problem is that long before the Jews were compensated, Mantis, you know where I'm going with this, a deal was struck and a deal was not honored. Black people didn't.
Reparations was never a deal. It was on the table. It was never put into law.
No. The 40 acres and the mules.
What? Yeah, that was never put into law.
Bro,
that was never officially put into law.
It was a deal struck and a deal promised. That was right.
How do you mean struck? How do you mean define struck? Politicians were talking about it. They were like, "We need to do this. We need to do this." It was never made into any law or passed.
Here we go. Now we're gonna do this. Play the video, and I'll be back. Let me just pull up my black file here.
That book, you realize that the whole industrial revolution and stuff like that was started because of the colonization, and you just think, well, if you didn't do that, then you wouldn't be as successful.
So, what do you mean by the colonization?
So the colonization of Africa. So both the people.
What
and
I find
the resources.
interesting is that she doesn't seem to know anything about anything.
Yeah, that's her MO, man.
Yeah,
Literally
every
all
time he
she
brings up
does-
something, she's like, "What do you mean by that? What do you mean by?" And that's cool. If you don't know something, you should ask a question. But like, she seems to not know a lot, but have a lot of opinions about stuff.
Because she just copies other red pill talking points and shit and just parrots them back because she doesn't have any opinions of her own. She's worthless.
Because like,
is
she doesn't know
worthless.
what a colonizer is.
She does not.
That's crazy.
She does not.
Right? There's a direct correlation between the colonization of Africa and the Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
And so with all the metals and the rubber and all this kind of stuff coming from Africa, it fueled the Industrial Revolution of the West.
Wait, so you're saying like in Africa, when you say colonize, you're saying like did England come in and colonize?
Yeah, like so European, France, Spain.
No, she doesn't know about colonialism.
Yeah, just like you pretended not to know that the promise from the United States, the promise, I sent you the article. It's way too much to unpack on the show right now. But just like many corrupt campaigns, the actual campaign promise was that you will receive this for this.
Right. But what I'm saying is, it was never passed into law. So certain politicians wanted to make it happen. It's like AOC's Green Deal. She wants it to happen. She's running on it. It never gets passed into law, and therefore it's not a deal.
No. It wasn't a Green Deal. It was nothing like that. Because long before the social
it was something that is not on any law book.
No. Before the social medias and all those things, there was a time where congressional law, quite simply, was the handshake. And when the congressional law is you vote a law into. It has always been passing a bill by voting. You can try to worm your way out of this, but
it's not a law.
I sent you the actual historical document, and you don't have to argue with me. You have to argue with the document itself.
Okay, no, we're gonna have in the sequel we're gonna talk about this. But right now, I think we should put Shaolin on the spot right now and say, ask him what
you're Haitian and you don't deserve any reparations.
So what are your thoughts on it? Shaolin.
On what, reparations?
On reparations.
Oh Lord, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you don't really want to answer, you don't have to.
All right. No, I'm going to answer. I'm going to make it succinct so we can get back to flaming this unremarkable woman. Here's my thoughts on reparations. So, since Black folk have made their entry into this plot of land we live on, it has been a tumultuous and arduous existence.
Preach.
And that has resonated throughout our stay on this continent.
Right.
In fact, it may have changed, but if I remember the math correctly, I think most of the time Black people have been on the continent of North America, they were under some sort of racial oppression, whether it was slavery or segregation or Jim Crow. Being completely free is actually more of a modern thing. For example, my mother is 66 years old. My mother and my dad, if he was alive today, they both told me stories about going to places in Charlottesville and having to go inside doors. The Paramount Theater downtown had to go inside doors. There were stores where, the owner straight up told my mom, we don't serve, here. And they just turned around and walked on out. Now, going to reparations, I am in support of it, and I'll tell you why. Black folk did not have a leg up when starting their journey in this country. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that other races didn't start poor, didn't come in with issues or whatever. Doesn't mean that there weren't poor white people back in the day either. What I'm saying is that the foundation that Black people had was significantly lower than that of white people.
I totally agree with that. Or anyone, really.
Or anyone, because
even if people argue, they're like, the Chinese made the railroads. That's nothing compared to slavery.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I
look,
agree with you.
White people had to start on the ground. Black people had to start in the dirt, literally. Okay. And I hear what Steve is saying. I understand what you mean with the logistics, Mantis, about how, congressional law, and I understand what you're saying, Steve. But I know 48, acres and a mule was a thing. And, just like they like to do, we just got to run around and it never occurred. So
it's one of those many laws that they say to entice you to get your votes, to get you moving. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they don't deliver it. Cause the other party didn't vote for it. Oh, well.
Exactly. And look, in my opinion, it definitely needs to be a thing. I did the ancestry test because I was insanely curious about it. And when you do the ancestry, you can actually do a family tree and shit, right?
Right.
So I tried to trace mine back as far as I could, and it stopped not too far into the 1800s. It just stopped completely. And I know why, right? If you were white, you probably trace it back further.
Right.
Nah, my shit stopped, right? And then when I look at just a side note, I look at the countries where I'm from, and all of them are coastal African nations.
Right.
So it's near the ships came right there and came back. But anyway, getting off topic. That's my
I had the same thing. On my mother's side, I can go back to a great grandfather maybe or something like that
right.
in Haiti, and that's it.
You're not getting off topic at all. You're cooking, because on that level, there are many reasons your family tree comes to an abrupt end, and it's not just because of some crazy hotep nigga. The legal claim that your family would have cannot be supported by America's economy today. That's the problem I have with just pearly things, my brother Shaolin.
Hey.
That's my problem. A lot of these pasty, idiotic people think that you and I can't read and understand that a deal was struck, and legally they have denounced that deal because they don't want to pay up. Now, I'm not taking shots at my boy Mantis here because I love him. But the fact of the matter is, Haiti is old money. You're old money. And we're not going to get it. You know why we're not going to get it? Because anyone that has been paid out has had a political gain for them being paid out. They paid Japan because they knew that they needed to pay Japan. They paid the Native Americans because they had to pay the Native Americans. It wasn't because of the kindness of their hearts. That casino tax, that money that they get, there was a political gain to it. Mm-hmm. The money they gave to Israel, they're our closest ally in the Middle East. But the niggas, the niggas that built this country, why do I need to pay them out? Why?
All I'm saying. But that's just me. That's just
no. Obviously, obviously it's very personal. Someone's take on it. And so, my argument would be that, I would say that everything you're saying is correct. You have, very good reason to. I know Steve's you're Haitian, so you're not going to get reparations, and that's why you don't believe it.
Actually, that's not what I said. In actuality, in fact, let me take a cold shot, man. Let me take a cold shot, because here's what you guys aren't ready for. Steve's looking for his reparations from North America and from Africa. I want to be paid out by Africa. And I want reparations from the Islamic countries. that did and still continue to pillage
Steve,
Africa.
you should be a lawyer and go after these people.
Better than a lawyer, I'm your supreme black chancellor. And in 14 days, I'll figure this shit out.
But so just from a political stance, the thing is that it's
who the fuck is this guy? Israel, not closest. Y'all misinformed. First of all, I don't take political commentary correction from someone that misses the S. I don't. And I'll take my hood off and speak with confidence after your mother releases me from her throat.
Oh.
So that you may
always a
learn
good
little
time
bit
here
more.
on Family Model.
So you might learn a little bit more, Jay. Put your picture in the profile, stand up like a man. Let's get into it. Play the video.
Oh, well, first I was gonna.
Now, Jay, the reason I wasn't present in your life, right, was not because I didn't love your mother. It was because I knew you were a weak seedling. Right?
Okay.
When your mother told me she was having you, I knew that you would be the constant disappointment in my life. But I don't believe in abortion. So I said it is better that I cut you off entirely.
Okay. Wait, what did Bex just say? Oh, brother.
Okay, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, so let's get back to the vid.
In Portugal, England.
And they like enslaved Africans, and
Yes.
that's what you're saying. Okay.
So they enslaved and at least colonized the continent.
Okay.
So when you colonize a continent and then you take ownership of the resources, you're able to gather those resources together and use them to your own benefit.
Right.
And so you gather those resources, use them to your own benefit, and build up your economy.
Right.
All the while messing up the economy of that actual country.
Now, here is something that I want to talk about. I want to talk about this. You black men out there, and I'm going to tell you where this happened. Remember when she disrespected black people on this particular Nick Fuentes interview, and she was supposed to apologize? Remember what the Negroes told her not to apologize? Here's the clip. I want you to listen at it. We're going to come back.
The Clue channel. You're on the air, Obsidian Radio with
Jay,
just
pay
Pearly
attention.
Things.
They're
Go right
talking
ahead.
about your mother right now.
What's going on? Can I be heard?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. Pearl, why are you apologizing? That's the part that's confusing me.
Why? I just think that I should have done my homework before that interview, and I should have had someone on the other side, and I really shouldn't have spoken on things that I don't know before the interview. So that's why.
But isn't that the purpose of an interview, to find out things you don't know?
Yeah, well, you're supposed to be asking questions though, not really giving your personal opinions.
Of course you can give your personal opinion. It's your show. Of course. There was nothing wrong with that show you did with Nick. There was nothing wrong with that. So you don't have to apologize. Because other people got in their feelings, that's a different issue. But you didn't do anything wrong. Not in my opinion, no.
So you see, last year, she would never say this. She wouldn't say this. But you see, you black men out there that was associated with, and I hate to say it, not all, but some of you brothers in the black manosphere, this is why this disrespect comes towards us, because black men told her not to apologize. So you thought that she was doing something, but really,
Women
she's telling
shouldn't
you,
vote.
I don't respect your people. How are you a race hustler when you are being mistreated? You're an activist. So you're supposed to just sit there and not do anything? What are you saying, Pearly? Should he have just said nothing? Yes, sir, boss. Yes, this is okay. I'm glad. I sure is glad you allowing us to walk across the street when you come towards us. I sure is glad as a 60-year-old man, a 20-year-old white man can call me boy, and I got to answer to him, yes, sir, boss. I think that's great.
Right.
So black people at that time were supposed to do what, Pearly? My grandmother picked cotton, lived in Poverty, tenant farming. We didn't even own the farm. Extreme poverty. So talking about the issues at the time, that's race hustling. But see, this is the same kind of woman who date black men. And I want to tell you, this is what happens. This is exactly what happens.
Look at that
A
picture.
lot of the black men that she deals with.
That is the perfect pause. And I want you young brothers in the comment section to pay close attention right now, right? Because here's something you need to understand. All you dusty milk maiden chasing ass motherfuckers that are willing to sell out truth, not your race, but truth, because this bitch gives you some rim. Just Pearly Things might be quite possibly one of the most problematic figures to ever appear in that black manosphere red pill commentary section. Because not only is she woefully ill-informed, she was supported by black men. I'm sorry, I gave Rhoda and all the dumb bitches their smoke. So now I got to give Pearly and all her followers their smoke. All you motherfuckers that got rejected by a black woman or got rejected by a white woman that saw an ally in Pearly, you never really believed in anything she was saying because it always boils down to this. Can I smash? Can we be honest up here, gentlemen? Can we be honest up here? Can I smash? You might have agreed with some of her ideology or some of her ideology, but you didn't agree enough where you actually would come out and say it with your camera on. You said it enough where you allowed this bitch, just like D. Simone, to disrespect Dr. Martin Luther King.
Oh, God, I forgot about her. I forgot she
that dumb bitch.
Yeah.
I got smoke for her, and I got smoke for Pearly. Now here, let's get critical, right? Do I theologically agree with a lot of things that Martin Luther King has said? No, man, it's on paper. He denied the Trinity. He denied the divinity of Christ. I disagree with him on that. But that does not disqualify what he did for my people.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't.
I don't care for him as a pastor at all. I mean, he was a womanizer.
His name's not even Martin. It's
But,
Michael.
Yeah, but
Did you know that? Did
as
you
a
know that?
leader, as a civil rights leader, and some of the things he says is just, he was just incredible. I love him. As you know, I'm a big fan.
Not even just said the things he did. Unlike Jay, whose mom, licks assholes at the local Buffalo Wild Wings.
So Jay has been banned. So I'm not sure if he can even hear this. I'm not sure if he can't hear it or he can't simply respond, but he still has to hear us. I'm not sure.
Well, he has to live under the fact that his mother is a lot troll at your local troll.
a lot lizard.
But no, it's just this thing, man. So this is actually a desperate attempt, I think, in Pearly on her part to stay relevant. Because prior to this, Andrew Schultz was just taking shots at Fresh and Fit.
That's the problem with the scandalous YouTuber or content creator. You have to keep making scandal or people don't like you anymore. And she probably saw a descent in numbers.
Right.
And she was like, I better say something scandalous just to mix it up a little. And
she's also demonetized on YouTube. She was a part of the Great Purge. Like, I believe her content is removed to Rumble. Not that we're taking shots at Rumble. Mantis, are we on Rumble tonight?
We are on Rumble tonight, and we're gonna stay on Rumble. We got a lot of crazy plans. So, did you hear about what's going on in the Rumbleverse?
No,
happened today. So, Barstool Sports was demonetized.
Oh, really?
And so they have taken all their videos down from YouTube, and within this day, they were taken down they were demonetized a few days ago. Within a few days, they cut a deal with Rumble, and the owner of Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy, he has purchased part of Rumble.
Wow.
He's become a partner in the ownership of Rumble, and they're moving all their videos over there and stuff. So,
Let me ask you a question directly, Mantis. Do you think this makes Rumble an actual viable or moving closer to being a viable?
Moving closer. We still need a few good names, but this is a great start. Every time they alienate an important person with money, it's a good start. It's a good place to go. You know what I mean? Because they're going to move to Rumble.
Honestly,
we need more of them.
If YouTube doesn't knock it off, man, it's it's only a matter of time.
That's the thing. What's the point of alienating everybody?
Yeah.
Because what it is, look at this idiot right here on the screen. She at least has like white supremacists on her side.
Yeah.
Right. So she at least has some people who will, fund her or buy her merch or whatever the fuck they do, pay for hand jobs, however she makes her money. What I'm saying is, YouTube is pissing everyone across the board: lefties, righties, extremists of all kinds, whatever it is. It's crazy. And I don't know if you guys heard about that 2A YouTuber who's going to jail now.
Oh no, I missed that.
No, I missed that one.
So this guy, 2A, as in Second Amendment, this guy, he does a gun channel. It's been taken down since, and he ran an advertisement. He ran an advertisement for something that modifies your weapon, and it's only legal in his state. But by doing it on YouTube, it crosses interstate lines.
Wow.
And so he ended up going to court, and ended up doing jail time.
Holy shit! For an ad.
For running an ad.
Can I ask a
That's
very
ridiculous.
serious question?
Ridiculous.
Oh, please.
I'm being serious. I want you guys to take me serious right now. In this picture of Pearly right now, does she not look like that barmaid, that bar wench, or that bar troll that you look at the bar you don't frequent? When you got the beer goggles on, maybe you had too much Hennessy and you're like...
You're visiting. You're from out of town. And you're like...
Right? You go to your buddy's college party and you're just like, oh...
A drowned Sphinx cat.
Hello, Gary. How are you? Rebeck says, is she okay in this photo?
No.
Who knows what's wrong with her? I think she has neurological damage. Who the hell knows? But there we go. This is this low life. We've only got a couple more minutes left in this bad boy. Did you guys have any honorable mentions or any other last minute stories?
Well, let's talk about the poor bastard's Star Wars theory, man, being systematically the attempt, not successful, at being canceled right now, man. And I do want to give a shout out to Den of Nerds. I believe that's the name of that podcast, coming out in his defense. All this really boils down to it. This is my honorable mention, was Star Wars theory. All he simply did was bring up a therapist who had commentary on regards to the female narrative in Star Wars. She said that women don't predominantly watch Star Wars, which is backed up by the Lucasfilm data when they, when Disney purchased Lucasfilm.
And actually, I want to point something out. I absolutely want to point something out. When somebody says something like that, obviously she doesn't mean that every woman on the planet doesn't watch Star Wars. Clearly, she's making just a generalization. We understand what she means. When people jump down this chick's throat.
Right.
Like, they're like, of course there are women who watch Star Wars. And obviously, of course there are, right?
Right.
But like, they're being mad technical with it. Do we have a video?
We do have a video, man, but it's actually heartbreaking. But really quick, Mantis, first of all, don't ever kick our trolls out, right? I want them to stay. Trolls are welcome here. And the bad AIDS, that was actually your mother we were looking at. You thought it was just Pearly things, but it's 3 black guys commenting on your mother in her sad, desperate, destitute state. So we'll get her the help she needs.
Real quick, I had it's kind of a super random honorable mention, but just kind of crossed my mind. I don't think I talked to you guys about it. Have you guys seen Blue Eye Samurai? Have you guys
I haven't seen it. It's on my list. I hear it's amazing.
Bro, it's amazing. I love it.
You watched it, Steve?
I loved it, man.
Oh yeah. So basically, for those who don't know, so Blue Eye Samurai, it's an animated show on Netflix. I want to call it an anime, but it's kind of not, but it kind of is at the same time.
It's not an anime?
No, it's not.
It's not. It might comes from France. I don't know. But anyway, story, quick synopsis, takes place in Japan. There's a period, can't remember which dynasty it was, but it was when Japan, it's a real historical period where they cut off contact with the rest of the world. No one could come in.
It's after Tom Cruise saved Japan.
And there ended up being a kid born that was half white with blue eyes. Hence the name of the show. And it just kind of escalates from there. But the plot, stupendous. The animation, fantastic. The fight scenes, Phenomenal.
Very
Mantis,
beautifully animated. Very.
You need to watch Blue Eye Samurai by the end of this week.
Okay, I'm on it.
Yo, can I ask you a question, Shalin? Have you watched Dota yet on Netflix?
Yo, I have not watched Dota. I think didn't the people that made Castlevania make that one?
I'm not sure, but I know that you're a guy that has had some qualms, like myself, with the multiverse saga in Marvel. Dota is a multiverse saga that's done right. It's really, really good. Go check it out, man. Check it out.
Yeah, man, I can do that.
Mantis, any last line defense of just Pearly things?
Oh, she's indefensible. Like I'm saying, like.
But would you?
Here's what I'm saying. I never call for violence, but if she were to bump into the wrong person in the subways, I would film it. Make a TikTok out of it. Make some jokes. Bust some jokes.
Would you still hit? Would you still hit? Mantis?
Of course. That's the best way to get at your enemies. Yo, don't let something like hate stop you from getting some. That's what I always say.
Would you hit Rhoda?
No. No.
Yo, the fact that he didn't go into anything witty, nothing. He just said no. No.
Yo, every time she opens her mouth, like my spine tingles. Like the way she whines and her whole thing, that whole mentally divergent shit. I can't even deal with it, man.
Those two are like the yin and yang of the black community's destruction. Like they're both on the opposite ends. Like they're with the same mission. I can't stand it.
Wait, Mantis, are you up on Melanie King?
I mean, I would get with that, definitely. What do you mean by up on that?
Like if you knew who she was.
Yeah, I know who she is. Yeah, I get with her.
Very beautiful.
Oh yeah, very beautiful. Well, like I said, basically Mantis is a whore, and so all it takes is anything really. But yo, to finish this bad boy off, obviously people were wondering, we're talking MMA because of our man Sean Strickland, who we talked about earlier.
Right.
You guys saw about what happened with that whole interview?
Yo, so first of all,
Shaolin, have you seen it?
When y'all talk Sean Strickland news, I thought you meant when he pulled the blicky out on that guy who tried to run up in his house. I didn't
No.
No. So recently at UFC 297, a Canadian woke quote unquote reporter asked Sean Strickland a question, and his response is so innocent but so amazingly funny. And I think Mantis is queuing up the video, but at one point he just asked a question, and I wonder if it's okay for us to ask the question, are you gay?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yes, and so people took umbrage.
Well, damn.
But let's see what he had to say right here. So, woke reporter comes at him.
It was a mental illness, and now all of a sudden, people like you have weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection.
So wait, hold on. I see they cut out. The original question. So the original question, what he asked was, a couple years back, Sean Strickland made a statement saying he's like, if I ever had a son who was gay, I would feel like I failed as a man.
Damn.
And so people have not thought about this quote for many years, but of course, some Canadian journalist looks it up, and so when everyone's asking him questions about a fight fights that are going on, and his job as being an MMA fighter for the UFC, logical questions. This one reporter asked that.
Wait, can I point out the obvious irony of this, Mantis? So they asked him this question when he's literally fighting a descendant. Notice the words I use there, descendant of colonizers. So his fight was against Duplessis. If you don't know, is a part of a people group that once referred to themselves as, turn the camera on, Afrikaans versus Africans. These are Germanic white people that now live in Africa.
Oh. Okay.
And instead of the woke person taking the obvious low-hanging fruit of addressing Duplessis, who has been criticized for saying that he will be the first African champion, African-born champion in the UFC, they went after Sean Strickland. And this is why liberals annoy me. Why are you getting at this man? He's clearly mentally he's going to say what you think he's going to say.
Oh, yeah.
He's from Anaheim in California.
And actually, I think what's his face? I think what's his face? Who runs UFC?
Dana White.
Dana White. Dana White said something to that effect, that when they asked him, they're like, do you let your guys run on a long leash like that? And he's like, for starters, I don't let my people. There's no leash. They can say whatever they want. And then he's like, these guys are a bunch of warriors. And you ask them questions. What do you think they're going to say?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like when you ask Mos Def, do you think Drake is hip hop?
Exactly. What kind of answer? And obviously that girl asked because she knew he was going to say something funny, and we all wanted to see that, obviously. But these people ask woke questions of people like of Gina Carano and other people who basically, one of the great characteristics of being a fighter is not putting up with shit and not bending to other people's will.
Yeah.
So why would people like Gina Carano or this guy bend to the wills of some Canadian beta?
Talk about that. And Sean Strickland don't care, man. He don't that man will say what he don't care.
Here's the crazy thing, right? You have to deal with one thing, right? And this is why I think people have a huge problem with Andrew Tate versus like Fresh and Fit. Andrew Tate can actually fight. You have to come to terms with that.
Yep.
That man can put paws on you. He is a kickboxing champion. Even though it's a lower kickboxing organization, he can put paws on you.
Yeah, obviously. No, he can fight. He can fight.
Sean Strickland can fight. He's at the highest caliber in the most highly promoted organization. Do you think this reporter would ask him this question in, say, the confines of a normal one-on-one? Like, hey, man, blah, 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 blah.
No,
No,
of course not. Of course not. They feel so protected in their bubble. They're like, look, I'm surrounded by people. Now I can ask the toughest guy in the block a stupid ass questions. And they're basically asking him is like, we know you're a tough guy. You can truly fight. Do you tiptoe around other people's feelings? Is basically what these questions are. Right?
Definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of you.
Yeah, I'd say that's some pretty instant
Oh,
regret.
no!
This woke reporter thought that
Oh no, I thought this dude was dead.
Well, don't worry. We don't have to watch the full video. That's because I just wanted to get a clip of his answer there.
Yo, badass. I'm sorry, not the badass. The bad AIDS. No, I was giving you some very complex thoughts, right? I don't give a fuck about Duplessis being South African. That's not my fight. I don't give a fuck. That's for the African people born on the continent of Africa. But I'm saying for a woke journalist, doesn't it seem more apparent that they should question Duplessis about the things they're talking about? You're going to have to Sean Strickland, a white man born in Anaheim, California, which, by the way, if you're not familiar with Anaheim, it's a very socially conservative area. And
I didn't know
depending
that.
on which area of Anaheim you live in, socially conservative might be way too educated of a response. Are you getting what I'm laying down here, gentlemen?
Yeah.
What I am saying ultimately is that, like, I know people overuse the complaint something is woke too often, but honestly, MMA interviews should not have anything to do with identity politics. There should be no wokeness in that at all.
No, they shouldn't have anything to do with identity politics, but when it comes to combative sports, this has been a part of it forever, right? So when you look at boxing and it's, you guys tell me what you feel.
But do they ask them their stances on LGBT stuff?
Bro. Listen, we're talking about Muhammad Ali, right? There have been political questions asked of combat sports athletes for years, right? The issue with this one is that we're talking to Sean Strickland, man. The problem is Sean Strickland is not a racist. I'm sorry. I know you guys want to paint him as that. He's just another fucking white guy with a mic in front of his face that says what he wants to say. But they don't always represent what he's actually said all the time. Sean Strickland is also on the record of saying that everyone that's ever impacted me in my life has been a minority. He's talking about the people that raised him in gym culture, Mantis.
I know, but it's sad that we live in a world that just because he's a white guy from Anaheim, he feels he has to say that. You know what I mean? Like, because people are questioning. They're like, I wonder if he's a racist. I wonder if he's a secret Nazi.
But before you speak on it, I'll tell you off air. If you've never been to Anaheim in California, It's like-
Here's what it is. I'm no reporter, but I'm gonna go on the default and assume people are not racist until they show me otherwise.
Mantis is not a reporter, but he's fucked more than a few of them. So, all right.
And they were all pearly things.
So I do want to say this, man. And you guys are martial artists, man. You're into the combat sports just as me, and this is the most important thing, man. And just let me lay it out. Sean Strickland threw an effective jab for 5 rounds. I dare you to go look up a picture of Duplessis versus Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland did get cut in the fight, man, but his jab was so effective. The only thing that was lacking was maybe a double or triple jab, but he was hurting this dude.
Yeah.
Hurting this dude. 2 guys who've trained in martial arts your entire life. Obviously, none of us are champion boxers, but at what point do we start questioning whether do we just remove judges from combative sports?
I mean, you have to have some sort of, you have to have some level of judges, but I mean, I think everyone hates decision, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hate a bad decision.
Yeah, decision is the most annoying way. Winning by decision, you're like, well, it wasn't a real fight because he won by decision. I mean, yeah, I can't think of many decisions that I thought was like so spot on.
Well, no. Don't think about MMA, man. I want you to think about point fighting.
Right? I mean, so,
in
you
kung
know,
fu, in
Sanda, that
Yeah,
it's point fighting, and all these things, and like, yeah, it's not fun. It's not
It's
fun.
dry and boring as hell.
And so, and I think about Manny Pacquiao and
Floyd.
Yeah, and Floyd. I think a lot of people were annoyed that ended in a decision, and you know what I mean. I think
that ended in a decision because Manny Pacquiao isn't as good as you guys think he is.
Well, and I'm sorry, but Mayweather.
You heathen! You take no.
Mayweather's not getting knocked out, man. He's too good.
No,
he's too good. He's the Mayweather shake or whatever he does.
He plays the game perfect.
Yeah, he plays the skirting the blow where like you know.
There's no way.
Bro,
his opponents must be so pissed that they can never lay an actual hit on him.
Yo, De La Hoya has to be pissed because Maidana and fucking Sugar and Mosley, they definitely landed punches on him. Could you? I mean, we've talked about this, but again, I want to hear from you guys because you guys practice traditional, quote unquote, which I think is a very
It's a loaded statement, right? Yeah,
you guys practice traditional martial arts, right? But within traditional martial arts, man, Wing Chun, Wushu, there's a high level of defense, right? There's a high level of defense. The point is not to get tagged and to return the tag. Why do we not recognize in Western combat sports? Sean Strickland did not get tagged, man. But if you help me out here, fuck.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I can't justify what they're awarding points for. I don't even know what they're awarding points for at this point. What were they awarding points for?
I have no idea. I'm coming to you to help me feel less.
You thought I'd
crazy,
give you an answer. I have no idea either. I don't like it. I
Sheldon,
said it
help me out
earlier.
here. What were they giving points for? If the punches are sliding off his shoulders, if they're hitting him on his elbows, what are they giving points for, bro?
Then clearly nothing. I just think we got a case of bad judging.
Good point.
But nah, I mean, yeah, if I had my way, I mean, judges need to exist in some way,
right,
to keep order in the fight. But you know, the most exciting fights definitely don't come from how many points the other person has. So, you know, maybe we need to figure out a way to rebalance that a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Fact.
But
basically, the only way I could see it is there'd be some sort of ancient barbarian octagon where like they fight, and if they're like dilly-dallying, the walls start to cave in. It forces them to get closer to each other.
The gladiator.
Are you guys up on combat karate and combat kung fu? I'm
So,
sure you've seen it on YouTube. Are you up on it though? Have you been?
I subscribe to combat karate. I watch a match here and there. I don't always watch those videos, but it's fun. It's fun when you have nothing to do.
So I was wondering what your thoughts on are you two guys that practice martial arts. What your thoughts are on combat kung fu? Like, traditional
Is there
forms
like a
use-
league of it or whatever?
I'll send you the videos. I don't know if these guys are certified practitioners, man. Based off their movements, I would say they're not.
Okay. So the true sportification of fighting kung fu already exists, and it's called Sanda. And so
Right.
there's a World Series of Sanda. There's a World Cup of Sanda every 4 years.
Sanda's badass too.
Yeah, and
It
so
is a
that's
good style.
that's points as well.
Yeah.
You earn points, and once again, but like you're saying, blows outside of the body or along the side of the leg don't count. You don't get
Right.
points for that. You got to get inside. So like, I don't know what a judge from a UFC judge would be grading
These aren't
on.
UFC judges.
I'm saying in the Strickland fight.
Yo, so last question, man. Can we do an episode? I feel like we've glossed over this in Fanboy, and we need Shaolin here for this, man. Can we do a martial arts exposed episode on
Hey,
Fanboy?
yo, let's
Because
do it.
Recently, I've been getting deep into martial arts, McDojos exposed, and I got smoke for a community that you guys don't think I would have smoke for. I got smoke for the Jeet Kune Do community.
Oh,
I can see why you would dislike them.
You were supposed to be the promised ones.
I'm no Jeet Kune Do-er. What it is, when I was a kid, I was a Jeet Kune Do-er until I found out they're just Bruce Lee fanboys.
Yeah.
Those fuckers can't fight. Those guys
You
are
were supposed
complete.
to be the promised ones. You were supposed to usher us into a pure form of martial
As
arts.
usual, they're not even listening to their messiah's lessons. Because he literally says there cannot be any uniformed martial arts, and you have to do what's right for you personally.
Right.
And they then made a unified martial art around what he did.
Right.
And
meanwhile,
so-
the Russians come up with Samba, and now they're taking over.
Yeah.
Sambo.
Get us out of here, man.
Let's wrestle some bears next week on Fanboy Modeling School. This is the Fat Mantis signing off. You guys can not only find me every Monday here with my man Steve, real name no gimmicks, the recently new Black Supreme Chancellor of the world.
Yeah.
But you can also find me weekdays at noon to 4 Eastern on Riz Radio, which you can find on Live 365. And you can also find Steve on Thursdays and Sundays on Live 365 at 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., keeping hip-hop alive. And where can they find you, Shaolin Iceboxer?
Hey, look, if you want to, chat, hang out or whatever, you can just find me on, socials, Instagram, primarily. It's my stomping grounds for the most part. Shaolin Iceboxer, all one word.
And would you like to shill your business?
Oh, yes. Saber Light Knights, traditional martial arts, weapons-based combat, fencing.
And lightsabers.
Lightsabers.
I got a combat saber now, so I have no excuse. I got to come down.
Yes. We need to put that to use, man.
Yes. Please teach me. Show me the ways. Anyway, this is the Fanboy Modeling School signing off and telling you all ciao for motherfucking now.
All hail your Black Supreme Chancellor.